Hello everybody, welcome back to Brian's Mysteries and Adventures on Trail. I hope everyone is having a good week so far. Today's case takes us up to northeastern Maine when a couple went out for a hike and disappeared on October 13th of this year, 2024. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. I can't tell you how much it helps out the channel and all my efforts with search and rescue. Alright, let's get into today's video. Let's first take a look at the map. We are going up to northeastern Maine. You see that little red square? It's the town of Alexander. This couple, a woman by the name of Pamela Helmstadter and a man by the name of John Helmstadter, they had been living there for over 2 decades. They decided that they were going to go for a walk with their 2 dogs on October 13th. Pamela is on the left. She is 72 years old. John is 82 years old. This is a picture of one of their dogs, a dog by the name of Lucy. They decided to go out for this hike on a trail that they had been hiking on for over a dozen years. Because the couple was so familiar with the area, they did not take their cell phones with them. They thought this would be a pretty quick trip. They just wanted to go out and enjoy the serenity of the fall air. Although Pamela was younger and in better shape than John, John loved going out on these hikes with her. They basically never went out on the hikes alone. They always brought their 2 dogs with them. At some point during this hike, this past Sunday, October 13th, they were on this network of trails that ran behind their home and other areas of the neighborhood. Everything was going well until John took a fall and unfortunately was unable to get up. They did not have their cell phones with them, like I said, so Pamela decided that she was going to get help. She told him that she would come back for him as soon as she could. She needed to first figure out where they were exactly because they had gotten kind of turned around. According to reports, some of these trails are very well marked, while others are very poorly marked. Pamela was looking for a way out for hours, and then unfortunately that turned into days. She had no supplies with her, no food or extra water. The temperatures at night dropped well below freezing. Even though the couple had not told anyone of their plans for the hike that day, one of their neighbors routinely would check in on them just to see how everything was going. They noticed that a package was on their porch. This was Tuesday, October 15th. Then the neighbor noticed that the next day, the package was still in the same place. The neighbor took it inside, set it down on a counter. The neighbor then noticed that one of the couple's dogs had returned home. Not to mention the package was in the same spot that they had left it the day before. This is when they contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office. This was on Wednesday, October 16th. This is when the official search got started. The Washington County Sheriff's deputies, along with game wardens from the Maine's Fish and Wildlife, got together. They got their search dogs ready. On Wednesday night, they joined with the Maine Forest Service and the Maine Search and Rescue Dogs team. They had a search helicopter up as well. On the afternoon of Thursday, October 17th, game warden Jake Voder and the Warden Service Canine Coda located Pamela in a very forested area that was roughly 2 miles away from their house. Pamela had been out in the wilderness for 4 days at this point. She was severely frostbitten. She started to tell what had happened. Her dog Lucy remained at her side the entire time. The doctors thought that this was a big reason for why she survived. The dog's warmth. The dog was also very protective over her. Not only had the temperatures gotten very cold, it had rained heavily during several of the days that she was lost out in that forest. Pamela had a very strong will to live. She was very worried about her husband. She said that she was actually eating peat moss at times. She thought that that would help her survive. She heard the helicopters circling. She said that this also gave her hope and promise that she may very well be rescued. She was so hypothermic when she was found. Her body temperature was only 90.7 degrees Fahrenheit or 32.6 Celsius. They transported her out via ambulance to a local hospital while they continued the search for John. Sadly, John was found deceased about a half an hour later, roughly 200 yards from where Pamela was. which is just so tragic and so sad, but it's also a reminder of how easy it is to get lost in woods or areas that you are very familiar with. This is an absolute miracle that Pamela was found, when she was and how she was. The fact that the neighbor happened to be checking in that day, there happened to be a package delivered that sparked the neighbor's attention. The neighbor continued to follow up. They got the search going. It's also so tragic because John lost his life. He succumbed to his injuries and exposure. Pamela was, of course, devastated to learn that her husband has passed away, but she said that they had a wonderful marriage. They had been married for 31 years, had a wonderful life together. She's determined to keep her husband's memory alive, which I think is just wonderful. She's, of course, so grateful to her dog, Lucy, this black Labrador Retriever, which she says really helped save her life. She said that at some point she was ready to give up until she heard the game wardens, planes and helicopters circling around. I wanted to talk about this case for several different reasons. One, I wanted to talk about it because a lot of people think that it's impossible to get lost, or it's impossible for anything to happen if you're out with a partner or a group of people. Disappearances happen all the time and in many situations, whether you're alone or with a group. Statistically, obviously, there are safety in numbers. But in this case, this couple had been hiking this area for dozens of years. They had lived in the area for over 20 years. My point is, you should always have some kind of a backup plan, no matter how familiar you are with a place, no matter how much experience you have. And I'm not saying anything against this couple. This is obviously both a tragedy and miracle, but it's always good to learn from things. And I'm just speaking to people in general now. It's always good to have some kind of a backup plan, whether it's one person carrying a cell phone or one person having a SATCOM device, whether you're going out on a day hike or a weekend trip. It's always good to have some kind of a safety net. I noticed that in this picture, the authorities had wrapped her in a space blanket. This is a piece of safety gear that I have often recommended. They are dirt cheap, maybe $1 or $2. They weigh an ounce or less. They are great for multiple applications. You can use them obviously as an emergency signal. You can use them underneath a sleeping pad to give you an extra R value. Often called space blankets or emergency blankets, you can get them at pretty much everywhere. Most recreation stores, outdoor stores. It's great to carry one in your fanny pack, your backpack, or even your vehicle when you travel. I want to dedicate this video to Pamela and John. My thoughts and prayers go out to Pamela Helmstadter and her husband John. I'm so sorry for your loss, wishing you a very quick recovery. I hope in some small way this is my effort to help keep your husband John's name alive. He seems like an absolutely wonderful man, and wishing you only the cherished memories of your beloved John. I'm working on several new cases for you. One of a couple of hikers that disappeared in the Pacific Northwest. Also a follow-up video to the disappearance on the Appalachian Trail. For those of you that watched that video, if not, I'll have a link in the description if you're interested in watching that video. I will continue to follow all the recent cases that I have posted on this channel and bring you updates as they become available. Alright everybody, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all your comments, your support, your feedback. You know I love comments, so please leave me a comment if you have a chance. Special thank you to co.ag for providing the background music. Hopefully I'll see you all in the next one. Take care. Hey everyone, thanks for sticking with me to the end. Here are some pictures of the advent calendar that I'm going to be doing a giveaway for this fall. It's a Godiva chocolate advent calendar that they do every year. If you want to be entered into the giveaway, all you need to do is leave me a comment with a video suggestion or commenting on this video and just saying you want to be entered into the giveaway. As most of you know, I generally recommend a SATCOM device of some sort when you're going out on any type of adventure. Some people have commented that they are expensive and you have to get a subscription. Well, this is true. You can also find them used on eBay and other places. If you need help with this kind of thing, please let me know. As far as the subscription, I can only speak to the one I use, which is an older model of the Garmin InReach Explorer. The subscription allows me to use it the months that I am using it. I can pause it anytime I want. I don't have to have it on for the full year. If I only wanted to have it on for a month, I could do it that way. So they are very flexible for the most part. All right, everybody. Thank you as always for watching. I'll see you in the next one.